Your net worth is not built in sudden leaps, but in quiet, consistent steps. Wealth is never an accident. It's the direct result of how you think, how you act, and what you choose to do with your time and money. Most youth spend our lives chasing income, but the wise build assets. Your future prosperity is not in what you earn today. It's in what you keep, invest, and allow to grow. Increase your mind first, and your net worth will follow. Every fortune, whether small or great, begins not with money, but with thought. A man may inherit riches, but unless he possesses the habits, the mindset, and the vision to multiply them, the wealth will vanish. On the other hand, an individual with little but discipline, patience, and a plan can build an estate of great value over time. The difference lies not in chance, but in character. We live in a world where many confuse income with wealth. A person may earn a great deal of money and yet remain poor, for what they earn goes out as quickly as it comes in. Another may earn modestly, but by saving wisely, investing prudently, and living with purpose, they gradually accumulate lasting prosperity. True wealth is not measured by the size of your paycheck, but by the strength of your foundation. It is not about what passes through your hands. It's about what remains and what multiplies. What is your net worth built on today? Is it built on the fleeting thrill of spending or on the solid ground of principles that stand the test of time? Because money is not merely numbers, it is a reflection of decisions. It tells the story of your values, your priorities, and your vision for the future. Your net worth grows when you choose wisdom over impulse. It grows when you understand that every coin has two choices: to be consumed or to be planted. To consume is to enjoy the moment, but lose the seed. To plant is to delay gratification, but to allow growth that compounds beyond imagination. The farmer does not eat all his grain in one season. He saves some for planting. And because of that, he multiplies his harvest year after year. So it is with wealth. But wealth is not only a matter of saving money. It is deeply tied to who you are becoming as a person. The greatest fortunes have always been built by those who first increased their understanding, their discipline, and their vision. That is why it is said, "Increase your mind, and your net worth will follow," because wealth is an extension of wisdom. It requires patience, foresight, and above all, responsibility. A man who suddenly comes into riches without these qualities often loses it quickly, but a man who builds wealth steadily, step by step, grows stronger with it. His fortune is not just in his bank account, it is in his habits, his discipline, and his clarity of purpose. That is why two people can earn the same income, and one remains broke while the other becomes secure. It is not income that makes the difference, it is philosophy. We must understand that increasing your net worth is not a trick, nor is it luck. It is the natural result of applying timeless principles. Spend less than you earn. Invest the difference wisely. Let time, discipline, and compounding do their quiet work. And most importantly, develop yourself into the kind of person who can be trusted with wealth. For money is like a mirror. It reveals the person who holds it. If you are careless, it slips away. If you are wise, it multiplies. Are you ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck in your thinking? Are you ready to shift from chasing income to building wealth? Because your net worth is not built by one decision. It is built by the small choices you make daily. What you value, what you save, what you invest, and what you allow to grow. Wealth is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. And if you choose to grow in wisdom, discipline, and patience, your net worth and your life will grow with it. How to shift your mindset toward wealth creation. The first and most vital step in building true wealth is shifting your mindset. Most people believe that wealth begins with money, but in truth, it begins with thought. Your mind is the factory where all riches are first produced. Before a man earns his first dollar, he has already made a decision about who he is and what he is capable of becoming. If your thoughts are limited, your results will be limited. If you believe that money is only for the lucky or the privileged, then you will live your life confirming that belief. But if you begin to see wealth as something created through ideas, discipline, and action, you step into the same stream that every successful man and woman has walked before you. The poor mindset focuses on immediate gratification. What can I enjoy now? The wealthy mindset focuses on long-term growth. What seeds can I plant today that will multiply tomorrow? This small shift changes everything. Suddenly, every dollar you receive is not just income to be consumed, but a tool, a servant, a seed. Wealth creation is not about luck. It is about choices, repeated daily, born from a mindset that values patience over impulse and growth over comfort. Train your mind to see opportunity where others see limitation. Develop the habit of asking, how can this money grow? How can this time be invested? How can this idea serve not just today, but the future? Once you make this mental shift, you'll discover something profound. Opportunities were always around you, but your old mindset was blind to them. Change your thinking, and you will change not only your net worth, but the course of your entire life. The difference between income, savings, and net worth. Most people live their lives chasing one thing: income. They believe that if they just earn more money, everything else will take care of itself. But that is one of the greatest illusions of our time. You see, income alone does not make you rich. In fact, there are countless people earning high salaries who are drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and constantly worried about the future. Their bank accounts might show activity, but their lives reveal instability. Income is what you earn, savings is what you keep, and net worth is what you build. Wealth is not measured by how much flows into your pocket every month, but by how much remains after the flow passes through. Your true financial health is not in the size of your paycheck, but in the size of your assets compared to your liabilities. Think of income as the river. It comes in, sometimes steady, sometimes unpredictable. But if all you do is drink from the river the moment it arrives, you will never have water for tomorrow. Savings is the reservoir, the portion you deliberately store away. It is the discipline of saying, I will not consume everything today because I honor my tomorrow. And net worth? That is the land you irrigate, the fertile ground you cultivate, which continues to yield crops long after the river slows down. Sadly, most people confuse lifestyle with wealth. They get a raise and immediately buy a bigger car, a bigger house, or the newest gadget. They think these things are signs of success, when in reality, they are signs of consumption. True success is quiet, often invisible to the untrained eye. It is the growing investment account, the paid-off property, the business that continues to earn even when you are asleep. The wealthy understand this difference. They don't measure their progress by their income, but by how much they are worth without needing to clock in tomorrow. Their focus is on assets that grow, not on expenses that impress. They know that savings is the bridge between income and net worth. Without savings, income will always slip through your fingers. Without assets, savings will slowly be eaten away by inflation and time. So, if you want to move from financial fragility to financial strength, begin by asking yourself two powerful questions. How much of my income am I keeping? And how much of what I keep is being turned into assets that build my net worth? The man who only chases income will forever be a servant to his bills. But the man who builds net worth will one day find that his money, his investments, and his discipline are serving him. That is the true difference between simply earning money and creating wealth. Daily habits that grow your financial future. Wealth is not built in a single moment of brilliance. It is built in the quiet, ordinary, repetitive choices of daily life. Just as a body is shaped not by one workout, but by the habit of exercise, and a mind is sharpened not by one book, but by the discipline of daily study, your financial destiny is determined by the habits you practice every single day. Too many people are waiting for a miracle, a windfall, a lucky break, or an opportunity that will suddenly transform their bank accounts. But the truth is, financial miracles are often disguised as small, consistent habits repeated faithfully over time. The man who waits for luck will always be at the mercy of chance. The man who builds habits is in control of his own future. Consider this: every dollar you earn has a job. It will either work for you or it will be wasted. Wealthy people understand this truth deeply. That's why they create a system for every dollar. They decide in advance what percentage will be saved, what percentage will be invested, and what percentage will be spent. The average person spends first and saves what is left, while the successful person saves and invests first, then spends what is left. That one reversal of priority, saving before spending, is one of the greatest financial habits you can ever develop. Another daily habit of wealth builders is tracking their money. They know where it comes from, where it goes, and why. They don't allow money to disappear without accountability. Think of it this way. If you were running a business, would you let your employees wander around without knowing what they're doing? Of course not. Yet many treat their money with less oversight than a careless manager treats his staff. Wealthy people treat money like employees. They give it direction, they assign it tasks, and they make sure it is productive. Wealth also grows in the habit of learning. Every day, wealthy individuals feed their minds with knowledge about finance, markets, business, and human behavior. They understand that money follows understanding. If you are ignorant about money, you will always trade your time for it. If you are wise about money, it will begin to multiply itself. A daily habit of reading, listening, and learning about wealth is just as essential as saving or investing. Then there is the habit of discipline. The ability to say no to unnecessary spending, to delay gratification, to resist the pull of impulsive desires. This is where wealth is protected. Remember, a fortune can be lost just as quickly as it is built if discipline is absent. The habit of restraint is as vital as the habit of growth. You see, wealth is not a single grand strategy. It is the quiet consistency of simple acts, saving before spending, tracking every dollar, learning daily, and exercising financial discipline. These habits are not glamorous. No one will applaud you for making your lunch at home instead of eating out, for reading a book instead of scrolling on your phone, for putting aside $100 instead of buying the latest gadget. But these small habits, invisible to the crowd, build the kind of financial foundation that one day becomes visible to all. The poor and the struggling often think wealth is out of reach because they're waiting for the extraordinary. The wealthy know it is achieved by mastering the ordinary. So, what are my daily financial habits? Do they push me closer to freedom, or do they chain me to survival? Because in the end, your habits will tell the truth about your future long before your bank account does. How to eliminate money-draining habits and build assets. Wealth doesn't slip through your fingers because of one great loss. It disappears quietly in the small habits you hardly notice. Every unnecessary purchase, every careless expense, every moment you trade value for temporary comfort, you weaken your foundation. To increase your net worth, you must first identify the leaks in your financial bucket. Ask yourself, where does my money go that brings no lasting return? Once you see it clearly, you realize wealth is not just about earning more, it's about keeping more. Eliminating money-draining habits requires honesty. Cut away the purchases that feed your ego but starve your future. Replace waste with intention. Instead of paying for fleeting pleasure, direct those same funds into something that grows, a small investment, a tool, an education, or even a book that sharpens your thinking. Assets are built in the same quiet way that habits are formed, consistently, patiently, and with discipline. Every dollar you allow to escape without purpose is a dollar that could have been working for you. Wealth is not about denying yourself joy, but about trading short-term indulgence for long-term freedom. Build assets, not excuses. The power of investing in yourself and your skills. If you truly want to change your financial future, the greatest investment you will ever make is not in the stock market, not in real estate, not even in a business. It's in yourself. Skills, knowledge, and mindset are assets that can never be taken away from you. The reason most people stay stuck financially is not because opportunities don't exist. Opportunities are everywhere. The problem is that they have not sharpened themselves enough to recognize or seize them. Think of this. A person with no financial education can earn a high income and still remain broke. But someone with the right mindset, discipline, and skill set can take an average income and slowly, steadily transform it into wealth. Why? Because they understand how to manage, grow, and multiply what they have. Wealth does not come from luck. It comes from being prepared when the opportunity appears, and preparation is the direct result of investing in yourself. Investing in yourself doesn't always mean expensive courses or degrees. It starts with the small, consistent actions, reading books that expand your financial awareness, learning new skills that increase your value in the marketplace, listening to mentors who have walked the path before you, and training your mind to think long-term instead of chasing quick fixes. Every hour you spend improving yourself compounds like interest, slowly at first, then powerfully over time. When you become valuable, opportunities chase you. When your skills sharpen, your confidence grows. And when your confidence grows, you make bold moves that ordinary people avoid. That is the true return of self-investment. It doesn't just make you richer, it makes you unstoppable. Question yourself, are you spending more time entertaining yourself or educating yourself? Because the one you choose most often determines your future net worth. Wealth is not built by chance, it's built by the person you are becoming. Why financial freedom starts with discipline and clarity. Many people dream of financial freedom, but very few actually achieve it. Not because it's impossible, but because they underestimate the foundation required: discipline and clarity. You can chase opportunities all day, but if you lack the discipline to manage your habits and the clarity to know where you're heading, you'll always circle back to the same financial struggles. Clarity is about knowing exactly what financial freedom means to you. Is it paying off debt, building assets, retiring early, or simply having the freedom to live on your terms? Without a clear vision, you will wander. Money that comes in will slip through your fingers because it has no assigned purpose. That's why people with high incomes can still live paycheck to paycheck. They lack direction. Clarity gives every dollar a mission. It transforms random spending into intentional action. But clarity alone is powerless without discipline. Discipline is the muscle that turns vision into reality. It's saying no to instant gratification so you can say yes to long-term stability. It's resisting the urge to upgrade your lifestyle every time you earn more and instead using that surplus to grow assets. Discipline is budgeting when it's boring, saving when it feels unnecessary, and investing when others are distracted. It's doing the unglamorous work consistently until it becomes automatic. Think of discipline as the walls of your financial house and clarity as the blueprint. Without walls, everything collapses. Without a blueprint, the house makes no sense. Together, they create a structure strong enough to withstand storms, temptations, and setbacks. That is how financial freedom is built. Not overnight, not through shortcuts, but brick by brick through discipline and clarity. Do you have a clear picture of your financial goals? Do your daily actions align with that vision? Because until you combine discipline with clarity, financial freedom will remain a dream. But once you commit to both, it becomes inevitable. At the end of the day, wealth isn't luck, and it isn't magic. It's built through mindset, clarity, discipline, and daily action. If you want true financial freedom, stop waiting and start building. Take control of your habits, invest in yourself, and focus on growing your net worth, not just your income. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and remember, wealth is built, not wished for.